What's going on, y'all? Uh-oh. Hold up. There we go. What's going on, y'all? So today, I worked the train today. Um, Today was a normal day for me to work the train. I will be working the train again tomorrow. Tomorrow is just the day I picked up an extra shift. Hey, it's cold in here. It's supposed to be cold outside tomorrow, and my office is the one room in the house that don't have a vent in it. It don't really need it. But my basil plants are greatly suffering from the lack of warmth in here. One thing I'm finding out is they really thrived in the hot months. They like the humidity in the air, and now the roots are staying too wet, too long. It's not drying out in here fast enough for them. So it looks like they're suffering greatly. You can see a lot of wilting leaves, and no matter how much work I do to them, they are not. Excuse me. I'm having seems like nasal issues. Hey, but uh something I want to talk about is I am surprised at how social media allows so much stuff to go on. Like, I don't be wanting to get on here and talk about people because I feel like it's too easy to, I don't know, stir up drama, controversy, and all that stuff. But it seems like on social media, uh, it is easy for people just to say whatever they want to about people. And it seems like you can just get away with it these days. I don't know how that is possible. There we go. I don't know how that is possible that so many people can just put out basically, let's just read through some of these titles that I have. And this is another thing that is a real big issue to me. When I get on social media, uh, I get a lot of the negativity, it seems like, that comes my way. And it feels like the algorithm is trying to push me into a negative space all the time. I don't get it. I don't like it. But that's why I have started trying to avoid social media as much as possible. The things that I get seem to be a negativity, or I'm in a Facebook group called Positive Mindset Motivation or something like that. And it's like the only thing that ever pop up even in that. It's supposed to be positive mindset, making meaning you would think making you think positively, but it's always some negativity. It feels like misery loves company. And when you see it, it seems like the people who are the most miserable are the ones who comment the most. And so you just see it all the time. I don't know. Maybe negative people like to stay on social media. I don't know. But I'm looking at some of these posts and some of the interviews that are coming up right now. What's up on my timeline is things about Jay-Z. Everybody has something to say. Uh, it's like the media, or it's not the media anymore, because now it's social media. It's like people, public opinion has already started to chime in, and it feels like, if they were to have trials, there's no way for people to get away. Like, back in the day, if you were going to sit on a jury duty, they would ask you not to partake in any of the information that is out there about the case. But now it seems like if you turn on uh, social media, you can't get away from it. Like, you would literally have to stop watching your social media feed altogether, because it seems like people just put out a bunch of negativity and it shows up everywhere. Today, I was informed about this Papoose and what is his, I don't know her name, but even stuff like that, it just feels like you can't get away from the negativity. They're going through it. I don't even know who these people are, but it's showing up on my feed. I'm not gonna say I don't know who they are. I don't know them well enough to be involved in their lives. Like, they're not even, in my opinion, celebrity at that point where they should be making it into my timeline. But because everybody is talking about them, hey, how you doing? I appreciate you joining. Hey, I did work the train today and I shot a lot of content of it. I do need to do something with all this content that I'm getting. I am trying not to just slam the internet with the content, but I did get some good train content today. Also, a gentleman approached me today and asked me about the smoke on the train. He's like, "Hey, it would be pretty cool if you could get some smoke to come out of the train somehow." And I'm thinking that would be pretty cool, but it's not my train to get smoke to come out of, and it is currently down. The feature for the smoke is down, so that won't be happening, and I would not be putting money towards making it happen. But it would be cool. Also, I got a comment the other day about the manual bell that is in on the front of the train, and that's another thing that's down, and it will not be getting fixed, I don't believe, anytime soon. Now, one thing that the owners did do, they put the same kind of door lock on the red, what is it, the caboose. So they do have that. They did manage to fix that, put a normal switch on. It was great because a lot of people were manually getting in and out of that rear one on their own. And so sometimes you'd ride around and the door would not be secured because nobody properly secured it, or it was taken, I guess you want to say, unsecured before taking off when it shouldn't have been. So you'd be riding around sometimes. Yeah, you'd be riding around sometimes, and it'd be uh the door would just fly open. So there, the train has been I don't know, it's been pretty good. Today was pretty steady, even though it wasn't like a busy day. It was pretty steady for the most part. Like I said, I shot quite a bit of content in the train today. And also, like I said, I'll be working tomorrow. I expect tomorrow, because I'll be there in the evening, I expect it to be a whole lot busier than it was today. I will be shooting video of that too, because with me working the schedule that I work for the train, I don't get to see many people. It doesn't bother me. I actually kind of like it a little bit. I was trying to make Tuesdays and Thursdays a busy day by putting out content and just doing little things to interact with people. And I do have people who come to visit me on a regular. I went to go see the train today and try to buy some tickets, and sadly, did not move the whole time I was there. Wonder why not? Did it not move because nobody wanted to ride, or is it down? Was there nobody working it? Was it closed today? But that is sad that it didn't move the whole day. Uh our train, a lot of times when it's moving, it's only moving with like one cart full of people. And normally that's just like $12. So uh I basically do anything I can to get people in the train. I'm saying, if it's a family that shows up and they hear the price and they're like, "Whoa, that's too much." It's like, "Well, tell me what I can do to get you to ride this train." I'm not going to give it to them for free, but I try my best to like, basically what I'm saying is, there's not many people that are just jumping up and down to get on the train, but now I'm not saying that there never is, but a lot of times it's pretty dead. And so what I do, and you'll see me riding around with the train empty sometimes in video, but what I'm doing is I'm riding around trying to draw attention to the train, because when the train sits still, there is no um nobody knows it's there. Nobody, people think that it's just decoration in the mall. And so what I do is, if I sit for a long period of time and nobody comes to ride the train, then I put my dog in the front and I go for a little ride. And the reason I do that, my dog draws a lot of attention to the train. People see her and then they want to come up and they want to pet her. They just want to talk about her. And it encourages a lot of people, especially little kids. They be wanting to ride in the cart with her, but I don't let that happen. But they still be like, "Oh, can I ride up front with the dog?" And it's like, "No, I'm sorry, you can't ride with her." I mean, I think my dog would do good riding with people, but I can't keep an eye on her, and I don't want to take a chance on someone saying something happened or something actually happening. So uh I don't let people ride in the same cart as my dog. I always move her to, if somebody wants to ride in the cold cart. Oh, and that's the thing. So uh I shot a video inside of every cart last week because I wanted people to have the perspective of what it would be like to ride inside of each cart. And someone said the cold cart, and I'm thinking, wow, that's the one cart that I didn't shoot a video up from. And so today I did shoot a video of the perspective of the cold cart, and I think I did upload that today. Let me double check that. But I believe I did. So can I look from here? I can. Let me move this over. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And I hope that that got some decent views, but it doesn't bother me. I am just happy that people actually are finding some joy in some of the content that I'm putting up. I don't have a reason for what I'm doing other than I'm having fun with it. So, yep, riding inside the cold cart. I did upload it today. Let's see here. Come on. Yeah, it did pretty good. It's got 108 views already for today. Hold on, let me see that comment. I missed it. Not that much customers. So the owner flipped the sign from open to closed. Not that much customers, but I was able to talk to the owner a bit, and he appreciated the love that he's gotten for yeah, for all he's done for the company. Yeah, his name's Steve. Yeah, that's the same. Oh, you know, one of the owners here for our train, his name is Steve as well. I believe that's right. Let me double check that. No, no, I'm sorry. His name's Kevin. Yeah, sorry. It's Jason and Kevin are the owners of our train. Yeah, our train is not ever that busy either. Last year, it felt like it was very busy, but I was working a lot more last year than I worked this year. This year, it has not been all that busy, not at all. And I understand why. The mall is not nearly as busy as it was last year, so uh, that's just how it works. I enjoy driving the train. I get a lot of comments where people are saying, uh, "You make me want to get a summer job for the train," and I'm gonna be honest, it's probably been one of the most fun jobs that I've had. Um, I like making the content of it. I like constantly moving. I like driving. That's why I want to get a drive simulator because I feel like I could be sitting here right now while I'm doing this live stream and be just driving around and talking at the same time. I'd be wanting something to do to make it so if there's nobody interacting with me on the live stream, I can still be doing something. I have not gotten there yet, but I mean, this is how you start. To me, dealing with social media, the best thing you can do is just interact with it as much as you can. Find ways to interact with it as much as you can. One thing that I found out was the more you put out content, the more views you will get, the more you will get people to engage with you. So I just plan on always putting out some kind of content. The biggest help to me has been doing product reviews. And the reason I say that is because product reviews have also been the biggest help to others. I get now I'm starting to get more comments on the train and things like that because the train is actually like taking over my channel. But but I'm trying to say even the train content is nothing more than a product review to me. It's just a product review on the train. People who are interested in riding the train, they're getting to see it from different perspectives. If people are interested in buying a train, all these different things, it's bringing exposure. And that's one thing that I like about social media, or I would say YouTube, because all social media is not the same. But what I like about YouTube is you could just have a product and be like, this right here, this is a Q-tip toothpick combination for all your hygiene needs. If you need to get something out of your teeth or something out of your ears, and you tell people about it, and people are like, tell me more. And a lot of times they give you more content because they want to know, where did you get it from? How many count was in it? were they soft? Did it make your gums bleed when you use the toothpicks? It is just amazing because all you have to do is just do a little bit of research. And while you're doing the research, uh, a lot of this stuff just comes to you naturally. Uh, I I don't know. I just have fun with it's to me, social media or YouTube. Let's just talk about YouTube. I don't want to keep talking about social media. I don't consider YouTube so much as social media. But what I will say is, to me, YouTube is like a big show and tell. Like when I was a kid in I guess what was it, kindergarten, first grade, when you used to bring your favorite item to school and you'd be like, let's do some show and tell. And you're like, well, here we go. Here's my favorite toothbrush. I don't know. But that's what it feels like. And then when people come back and they respond to your content, it just feels great. And especially when somebody tells you how much your content helped them make a decision. Either they decided to go with the item that you said, or they decided they didn't want the item that you said. So I really clearly you can tell through the sound of my voice. I get a kick out of a lot of things in life. Like I love driving the train. I love doing YouTube. I love roller skating. It's just I try to stick in tightly in areas of things that I love. So YouTube is definitely one. And all I do with YouTube is just look for ways to engage with it more. It might not be what everybody wants to see, or it might push some people away, but what I've learned is the things that push some people away are the same thing that draw other people in. And you just have to be okay with the fact that sometimes people are going to leave your life and sometimes people are going to come into your life. And you have to be okay with the ebbing and flowing of people. And uh, the great thing about it is more people are choosing to stay than choosing to leave. But I feel that's because I'm always trying to be a good person in my content first and foremost, more than I am trying to get money or trying to be popular or trying to be famous. None of that stuff matters to me. It's really just having fun and trying to engage with people. So that's what I do. I try to be positive in everything because I believe the energy you put out into the world is the energy that you will receive back from the world. So if you put out negative energy, you best be ready to feel that negative energy coming back to you always. And if you put out positive energy, not saying you're guaranteed to get positive energy back, but if you do it with the right intentions, most people will see that it's authentic and they will support. Or, I mean, if they don't, you have to be okay with rejection. That's something that we always talk about. And that's how I feel. Uh, like I said, I just try my best to have fun with YouTube. And if it's not fun to me, like basically either I love a product or I hate a product. And I'm gonna say hate, let's just say strongly dislike. And those are the two products that drive an emotion out of me enough to do a product review on. And product reviews, like I said, before the train, product reviews were probably the best thing that I had going for myself on YouTube. And that's good enough to me. I would like to do other kinds of content, but the one thing that I found is negative content or talking bad about people. It feels like what goes around comes around. And so if you get to the top one day by bashing other people, you can expect that once you get to the top, you're going to be bashed as well. Uh, I don't shoot for the, well, I ain't gonna say that. I feel like I'm always shooting for the top, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm saying I'm always trying to be the best that I can be. And I feel like that's going to always be good enough, at least for me, whether the world views it the same or not. I don't spend much time thinking about what the world wants. I put out what I want and I let the world tell me what they think about it. But even then, I don't feel like I lose any sleep over it. So, uh, I don't know. Sometimes I figure myself to be a much different person than the average person. And I'm not saying that in a good way or a bad way. I'm saying I am human like every person. But I don't spend as much time, maybe. I can't guarantee it because I don't know what other people think or what they do. I guess what I've said is I don't spend time thinking about what other people think and what they do. I am very much in my own world majority of the time. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's been working for me most of my life. So I guess I could say all my life. I don't spend much time looking to my right and to my left. I keep my eyes straight forward and I keep it moving. Our train company is called Trackless Train, Trackless Trains of San Diego, and it's a Watman train at a few malls here in our state. Okay, yep. I believe we have a couple different ones here in our state as well, and I feel that the mall has not been busy like it had. I feel empty, and it makes me sad that they are closing. Wait, the mall is closing? Stores and changing them. Oh, they're okay. They're changing stores. It's nostalgia for me and many others. I agree. So, uh, my mall is also suffering as well. I was just talking to a client today in the barber shop, and he told me the same thing. He said that he did he saw something somewhere, I don't know where, and I'm trying to quote him properly, but he said that we have a mall here in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's called Kenwood Mall. And he said that it was one of the top 10 malls in the country. And the reason why it's one of the top 10 malls in the country is because it's one of the few malls in the country that are um, making money. Let's look and see if we can do some research on that. Top 10 malls in America. Here we go. So, where would I see this at? Not the biggest malls in America. Best malls. Maybe we should go with best malls. The 10 best United States shopping malls in 2024. Let's go with that. So we got Disney Springs, Bayside Marketplace, which doesn't look like a mall, Dolphin Mall, which doesn't look like a mall. These don't look like real malls. Okay, so you got Mall of America, you got I don't know what that is, Los Olas Boulevard, the Grove, Armored Circle, the Galleria. Okay, yeah, some of these don't look like malls. And this mall that I'm talking about does not look like it's on here at all either. These malls look more like I don't know, they look more like places for events and things like that than they do look like malls. Um, nope, I don't see it. And I guess, like I said, I don't know when he saw that or how long ago he saw it, but they do have some great looking malls on here. So all malls are not suffering, but I guarantee there's not many malls in each city that are doing well. Like most cities, I bet only have one mall that's doing well, and then the rest of them are kind of suffering. And I feel that's how it is here. We've had, I want to say, three malls shut down here in my city. Three malls. So I know Tri County Mall shut down since I've been back. Cincinnati Mills, which used to be Forest Fair Mall, it shut down. It used to be a mall in the downtown area. It was not really like a real mall, but it was. It shut down. And the mall that I'm currently driving the train at, it has just opened within the last 10 years, and they can't get the stores full inside the mall. Now, they do have stores and shopping area outside the mall, and it seems to be doing good. It's just the interior stores that are not doing good. So, uh, I couldn't find it on here. I mean, it's way more than I'm at over 90 right now. So, I could keep going. It says it's 2,000 miles. So, it doesn't say which ones are doing good, but it doesn't surprise me that malls are suffering. Since COVID, a lot of people have gone to strictly online shopping, and most people are fine with online shopping. I don't like online shopping, and it seems like now because malls are shutting down, you can't find people anywhere, like at all. There's never anywhere that you can go where there are people. I don't know what that means, but it just seems like it's gonna be a sadder and sadder places as the years go by. Let me get your comment up. Our mall is Westfield Plaza. What is that? Bonita, California. I feel the reviews are not great as I read them at school. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what's interesting is I don't think any mall, like our mall doesn't have many stores in it that are open. We have Dick's Sporting Goods, Old now we do have quite a few stores, but the upstairs where I drive the train, it is mostly uh there's not any stores there. Now they have a company that rented out like half of the mall upstairs next to Old Navy, and they've turned it into a bunch of office spaces, which is a great idea. But even that, it looks like people can't afford to keep business inside of there. Like it's a couple hairdressers inside of it. It used to be a couple barbers inside. The barbers have since moved out. Uh, it just seems like the economy is really, really suffering right now. I hope that things get better, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't see how much changes. Most people are comfortable and enjoy sitting at home and buying the things that they want and just have them shipped to them. Let me get your comment up. I don't like online shopping because of shipping fees, taxes. I feel going in person to buy is most of the time better. I agree. Uh, I like shopping in person. I don't like online shopping because I don't like not being able to see what I'm purchasing, not being able to feel it. I like to see two items next to each other so I can compare the difference. Like, okay, this one's hard and this one's it's a little softer. I like being able to compare and seeing what other choices are out there. And when you shop online, uh, it's hard to me. It's harder to find the best deal because a lot of times, especially like on Amazon, I look on Amazon and it'll be, let's just say we're looking for HDMI cables. I just bought something here recent. Here we go, right here. Heck, I could do a product review on it right now. I just bought this HDMI cable and I could not tell what the quality of it was. I could not tell um, if the one next to it was just as good or if it was better. And so when you get it home, you wonder, is this um, was the one next to it, was it longer? Was it braided material, which this one is? It's just one of those things. It's like I want to be able to see and feel things. And when you buy online, you can't do that. Let me see what else you got. I agree. For our mall, it will be crowded and then not. The train will be full and then not. But basically, the train was parked in front of what used to be Joint's Incredible Pizza. See, that's the same thing that's happened in our train too. We park in front of the library, which is a pretty cool place because the library draws a little bit of attention, like when Santa Claus is not there. Santa Claus really draws the train a lot of attention because when Santa Claus is there, uh, a lot of families come in to take pictures with Santa Claus. And then what I do is I just drive around the top and I blow the horn and I always say, everybody wave to Santa. And Santa, me and him have kind of like a good rapport a little bit. So he always tells his people when they're down there to, hey, wave at the train. And so if people, which I'm saying most people come to see Santa, when you walk into the main entrance, you can see the train right there. But John's closed. Oh, it's an arcade now, which to me, an arcade would be great for a train. The train had to move somewhere else, and I feel that people are now interested. Are you saying they're not interested because they had to move the arcade more than the train? Oh yeah, and it makes me sad. I can see that. I can see that. The arcade will draw a lot of attention, and to be honest with you, I'm sure little kids would much rather go and play a couple video games, some of them, than to ride the train. I really enjoy driving the train. I like riding the train. I don't know. I guess, like I said, I'm just a little different. I enjoy it so much that um, I ain't gonna say I would do it for free, but it is that much fun to me where I could have done this as a volunteer gig. I could have. It does get tiring running around in circles. Sitting up in that train, it has you sitting at a angle that kind of hurts my back a little bit, and pushing down. Before I had my knee surgery, before I had my knee surgery, operating the train really bothered my knee. Now that I had my knee surgery, my knee feels better. I mean, it still hurts, but it feels better. Um, and it's better. I mean, I can drive it a little better. Let me put this one up. Same here. People just don't understand how it brings me joy. I agree. The train is very, and ride after ride. I and my mom would have to pull out a bunch of money, huh? Yeah. My it is amazing how many people walk by that train and they get so excited. Like, it doesn't matter what age the people are. People get excited about that train. Older people, they come up and talk to me about the train. Matter of fact, the gentleman who came up to talk to me about the train today, he was a much older guy, and he was just like, "Hey, it would be really cool if you had smoke coming out of that train while you're driving around." And I'm like, "Yeah, that would." It's a feature for smoke, but it's just not working. Basically, our train is a used train, and a lot of stuff on it is aftermarket. So it has to be uh like, it's not manufacturer standard. And so that means that when things need to be fixed, you have to find something else to fix it. And by doing that, you also take out some of the features. Basically, like, the batteries that are in the train are not the batteries that the train was built with. A lot of features, because the train um, maker is a Canadian company. Getting some of the parts is either super expensive or super hard. And then with it being a 2012, it's also, once again, hard to get the parts for it. I would love to have a train in my yard, and I would really love for it to be a train that was rideable. But track trains, I'm saying, I just went to the store to get a track train just to put around my Christmas tree. And the one that I wanted was $600, and that was not with track or anything to make it go. That was just simply the train. And that's just for one to go around a Christmas tree. So when I was in there, I'm like, man, I can't justify spending $1,000 for Christmas just for a train to go around the Christmas tree. Like, I would love to do that. And I was thinking, like, well, what I'll do is I'll just use this money from driving the train to start my my train set type of thing, and I'll shoot video of that. But I'm gonna be honest, my train would not be interesting. If I bought any kind of train, it would not be interesting for a very long time, and that don't draw much attention. And I would probably get bored with it before then. Yeah, I assume your train is customized. Yep, repairs. For example, you have a handle for the older train bell? Though, you talking about the little knob that you pull in and out? Yeah. Now that's supposed to be there, and it's supposed to be a little knocker inside the bell, but it don't have nothing attached to it. I feel like it wouldn't be hard to attach something to it, but I would like to see what goes there, because I feel like that's something I could have fixed myself. But I just don't see why I would. Uh, I took it into my own initiative to polish up the brass on the train, but I also knew that would make it look better. I was looking forward to I was trying to figure out, how can I shoot content in this train, because I really wanted to shoot content in this train. And while I was thinking about it, I just went ahead and started polishing up all the brass at the same time. Now, I didn't buy the brasso, but I did put a lot of time into it, scrubbing it down. And I'll probably do that again because it's starting to look a little bad now. It has a handle and you just have to wiggle it. Huh. Yeah, we had the one that we had. If it was working correctly, you would just pull the knob and it would actuate. And somebody asked me in a video, they left me a comment saying, "Why don't I ever use it?" And I'm like, "Well, it's not functioning, just like the smoke is not functioning." And there's about maybe three things that are not functioning properly. And today, when I was driving the train, I kind of heard one of the speakers not sounding so good today either. That was kind of bothersome a little bit. But the thing is, you guys have a newer 2012 model. They don't have the older features. Huh. And to be honest with you, I've never come into contact with another one of these trains anywhere. I've never seen one. At least I don't think so. Other than in video, I've never seen one of these trains anywhere. I was told by the owner of our train that how he got the idea. There's another mall about 45 minutes away from our mall. It's in Dayton, Ohio. I was told they have a train up there, and that's how he got the idea. And then he just decided to put it in the mall down here where I am. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind owning one of these trains, but I'm gonna be honest. It just seems like the upkeep, the cost of the train, the upkeep. Like I don't know if they've basically what I'm saying is I don't know if they made their money back off of the train to pay for the train, and then they still have to pay the booth rent at the mall. They have to pay salaries to their employees. They did add the scooters into the system as well. I just don't work the scooters. I'm not interested in the scooters, so I don't have anything to do with them. I signed on to drive the train. I did not sign on to get a job. I signed on because I wanted something to do with my um I wanted to be productive in my time, but I am not like a person who's out here chasing money by any means. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't need it. Um, and at one point, you guys had a wheel had the wheel rods. Your wheels still move, which is great, but they're missing. Oh, yeah, we never had the wheel rods. I didn't even know that that's what that was there for. Hey, that's a great point. I never saw those before on the train, not once. I've never seen those on the train. Uh, I don't think we ever had them, not to my knowledge. But so that is another thing that's missing. I guess I didn't know that either. This is great stuff you're telling me because what I'll do is when I make an update video, I try to do update videos every now and then, but uh I have not made one. It's a lot of things that are different about our train. Like I said, they put a different meter in. Uh the hour meter on not the hour meter, the mile meter on our train, it has never changed since I've been driving it. It has never changed, not once. So I know I have put several hundred miles on this train. At least I feel like it. I feel like I'm driving 3 miles an hour, let's say five, let's just say 4 miles an hour. And uh I probably do I've done as many as 15 rides at 8 minutes. What would that be? Let's just say 15 times 8 equals 120. So that's 2 hours worth of riding right there. 2 hours worth of riding. So divided by what would we say? That would be divided by 60 because it's 60 minutes in an hour. Divided by 60 equals, man, I did that wrong. It would be 2. And then times, let's say 4. That means I'm driving 8. I drive 8 miles every day at a minimum. At a minimum, 8 miles every day is what I have driven in that train. So that's what I would say. And then let's say Um, I'm saying everybody else is doing the same thing. So we would say 365 days. It doesn't matter. You get where I'm coming from. I drive about, let's say, 8 to 10 miles a day in that train, and the miles have not changed. And let's just let's say we're doing 10, and I've been working for the train for a year now. So let's just say 365. That would be 3,650 miles that it has gone in a year. 3,000 miles. That's pretty far. Almost 4,000 miles. So I believe that the upkeep on the train is one of the hard things as well. But I did not realize we were missing those rides. But I can see what you're saying. That makes it look like they're all moving together. We are missing some features. We have, well, I don't know if who's working on it now, but we had a time where the train had broke down, and they needed a repairman, and they found a golf cart repairman, and the golf cart repairman, he couldn't fix it. He ended up stealing the keys, so we had to get new ignition keys, and we had to get all new locks put on the train because the owner was worried that the guy would come back and do something to damage the train, or he just he didn't do the work, and he didn't return the keys. So the owner was worried, put on new locks. And see, that's the thing. Whenever there's an issue with the train, there's not like a store around the corner you can just go to and buy the parts for it. You have to like source them from somewhere and then hope that they fit. And I get it. Basically, just like I was saying yesterday, when you're going into business for yourself, it is a lot of things that you are unprepared for, and you have to figure them out as they go. The train was down for like 2 weeks, and the owner, this was before he had another business associated with it as well. Um, yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. The guy basically just took the keys and didn't do the work, and the owner had no way to get back in touch with him. Yeah. You'd be surprised what people do these days. That's why every time I walk away from the train, I make sure to secure everything in the train. I don't leave anything out because people will just walk up just to be funny and like take the keys and walk away, or take the whatever. They'll just take stuff. I'm not saying that it's happened, but what I'm saying is you can't trust people like you would think you could these days. But I was saying about, like, when you're doing business for yourself, a lot of things are a learning experience. And I'm learning that is another reason why I like to go work for other people, especially small businesses. Because when you work for a small business, you get to see the inner workings pretty easily. Like, I always wanted to know what it was like to work in a mall, not work in a mall, but have like a business in a mall. And now, after working for this owner, I understand how the contracts work. He had to do a year and a half contract with the train, which uh that's a long time. Like, the mall locks you in and their contracts are solid. You're going to pay that contract whether you're in there working or not. Then they give you hours of operation. When the mall is open, they expect your business to be open like the mall is open. Once again, there's hours of operation. There's a paint store that just opened up. It's uh, like a sip and paint, but it's not really sip and paint. It's just you come in and you paint. They're the only store that I've seen that is not open all the time. So they have to have some kind of agreement with the mall. And I don't see how they make it, because when I'm in there, I never see the store open. It was open today, but it's like they do classes. So, and when I say classes, it's kind of like a party. You bring in a group of people, they paint by the numbers, or they tell you what to do, whatever. It just seems like a little paint studio. And I don't see how they're making a ton of money because they're not open enough. So I don't know. But my thought process is, when you work for a mall, you have to meet their contract, and then you have to meet their contract agreement. So their contract might be, let's just say they charge you $1,500 a month. Well, that's times, let's just say that the contract is for 18 months. So I'm sure 1,500 is a low number. 1,500 times 15 months. That means you're at $22,000 under contract right there. So if your business fails or does not do well, you still owe them $22,500. That's like ridiculous because you can't get out of that contract even if your business is not doing well. Hold on, let me look your comment up. Our train has been here since 2008. I guess the owner had to renew the contract a lot. Uh Maybe after being there for a certain amount of time, maybe you can go from to month to month. I'm not certain about that. But what I'm saying is, I know when you initially do a contract, you have to honor that contract. Now, I own a barber shop, and my first contract was a 5-year contract. I signed up for 5 years of doing business. Now, I didn't know if I was going to make it 5 years or not. I wasn't thinking about it that time either. I was making enough money. Now COVID came and that shook everything up. But I agreed to a 5-year contract. Now I have since been in that building for 8 years now. And after that, the contract has kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit. And we've gone to month. And I have a 2 month, like if I want to get out of the leave the building now, our agreement is give me 2 months notice. And if he wants me out the building, our agreement is also give me 2 months notice. So the thing that kind of sucks about how the contract is now, uh, if I wanted to do large renovations inside the building that were going to be like super, super costly, I would be a little bit more scared to do so now because he could always just come and be like, hey, I got somebody who wants to rent the building for double what you're paying me. So I'm going to need it in 2 months. But I believe, and this is just my beliefs, that with my consistency in working in his building and being a part of his business, he understands that he has a constant stream of income for me because what can happen is you could rent it to somebody else and get more, but does that mean that they're going to be there longer? And so that's like a game you play. I can get double what I'm getting right now, but it might only be for a year. Or he could lock him in for 5 years and then he could guarantee more for 5 years. Now, that would be a great idea. Or it could be you got me in there for the rest of my life. Like, I don't see a reason for me to ever move out of the building. I want to make repairs and upgrade the building, but things are just moving so slow. But that's crazy. If your owner has been there since 2008, then that means he's been a train owner for that long. And that means his train is at least a 2008 model at a minimum. And ours is a 2012. But I feel like um, it's just hard. It seems like it's hard for us to keep ours up. When they put our train outside, that really did some harm to our train as well because they had curbs outside, and a lot of people that didn't know how to drive were clearly like running into the curb with the front of the train. And so uh, I don't know. It just kind of hurt me a little bit to see that the train is being kind of like ran down. I actually really like this train. I do. I'm I'm hoping that YouTube takes off enough to help me fund a train in my yard. Because that would be great. I've been wanting to do hay rides with Penny, my tractor. I call her Penny. I've been wanting to do hay rides like during uh, Halloween, do haunted hay rides. I don't know. During Christmas time, I would love to be taking put Christmas lights up in my trails and do uh hay rides through there. But if I can get a train running through my trails, that would be even better. I'm trying to get my trails smoothed out so that they're safe for everything. Like I would like my yard to be wheelchair accessible all the way around all year round. I want people to eventually be able to come out and enjoy my yard, but it's taken me so much time, and it's always something else. Like, I look at people who have hobbies and it's like, what were you doing to fund these hobbies? How much income did you possibly have to make all your dreams come true in your backyard? I watched this one guy, he has a train with a trestle bridge and a station. He literally took all his time, I want to say for either 2 or 4 years, and built this amazing train track in his backyard. Now, I'm just thinking, not only did you have to build the train and the track, but you also had to keep up with the maintenance of it all. And if owning something doesn't get me, the maintenance of what I own gets me. I had a four-wheeler. I love riding a four-wheeler, but then riding the four-wheeler, I had so much fun riding it that I also had to maintain it, and keeping up with maintenance was almost impossible. And it was probably the time when my trails weren't set up for four-wheeling. Now I could own a four-wheeler and probably be great, but I ended up with a lot of flat tires and stuff because I had a lot of stuff in my woods that I was cleaning up at the time. So yeah, so our train is put away by J.C. Penney through two doors, and there's an entrance outside, and they have a loop around outside and go through the main doors. Yeah, yeah, it does hurt the train. Outdoors hurts the train. It does. It doesn't hurt it due to weather, even though with our train being non-factory, we are worried about when it rains that some of the components of the train getting wet with rain could actually make the train go bad. So whenever we're outdoors, we have to move back indoors pretty quickly if it starts to rain, because the owner is worried that some of the components inside can get wet and then short some things out. So we don't operate in the rain or in inclement weather at all. As soon as we start to notice bad weather, or if the news calls for, the weatherman calls for bad weather, uh, we move the train inside. Oh, let me read your next comment. I appreciate all the comments. The sides are kind of scratched up. People may go on the curves. Yeah. Um, our train, like I said, the front is dinged up bad from people running into curbs, is what it looks like to me. So uh it is what it is, and I understand. I just wish that the train was being better taken care of. I really, really enjoy the train. And like I said, once the scooters came in, the scooters became more valuable. Like, they bring in a lot more money, I do believe, than the trains, because you get to operate it yourself, and they're fast, and they're on the first level of the mall. They get to drive all around. You get to operate it however you want to. And it is very interesting. I look over the side and I see people down there riding those scooters all the time. And they look like a lot of fun. I've ridden them and they are a lot of fun. I enjoy them as well. The only reason I won't work them is because it seems like those are the more, and this is just me, the more inconsiderate people. Like, they run into people. They basically, they're trying to have as much fun as possible. And a lot of times when you're trying to have as much fun as possible, you're not being considerate of others around you. And so that's what I've seen with those. And the one time I have been cursed out, it was by the manager of Foot Locker, because kids kept running inside of Foot Locker with those scooters. And so the owner comes and he pretty much comes up to me like, "Hey, I'm only going to say this once." And it's like, "Well, you're talking to the wrong person if you're going to say it once, because that ain't how you talk to me, buddy." Uh, and I tried to keep it professional, but I'm like, "Hey, this ain't even my job." So, and I ain't the owner. But I try not to go off on people. I try to maintain my cool. My dog helps me greatly with that, I tell you. uh, but the train, it brings in happy people, and if you do it right, it makes people leave even happier, and that's what I love about it. Today, I had so many people. I got a tip today. I normally get tips, uh, but people are so happy, and then when you try to make the ride as fun as possible, like that's why I do the zigzagging down the hallways. Uh, I try not to make it a fast ride. Like after doing it outside, and outside you have to drive so slow because the train doesn't have any suspension, and when you're driving over the cracks in the sidewalk, you can feel it. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about hurting your back. That is annoying. There is no suspension on the train, and every bump is like boom, boom, boom. Now it sounds cool for the train. It actually sounds like you're really going over train track trestles, like the actual how trains sound when they're driving along. It sounds like that. Excuse me, I'm on here longer than I expected to be. It sounds like that when you're outside, but outside it was an 8-minute ride. And when I realized it was an 8-minute ride outside, and when I'm inside, it's normally like a 6-minute ride. So what I've done is I've tried to extend the ride to closer to being 8 minutes. And so I do some extra turns down that hallway now, and I've added a little bit of a turn in right before I come to an end now. I just started doing that since I've been back from my last surgery, and I just feel like people seem to appreciate it more because when you're paying $6 and there's not a whole lot of people riding, I try to make it as fun for the people as possible so they want to come back. Like that is what it's all about when you're doing business. Period. Whether it's your business or somebody else's business, if you like the business that you're in, if you like the job that you have, then you should do everything you can to make people want to come back. Like if you just like your job because of how much it pays you, well, even then, you should be investing more into it because you want to make sure that you keep getting paid that. If this train shuts down, then I lose my fun as well. You get where I'm coming from? Like I enjoy driving the train. Since I enjoy driving the train, then I should be as friendly and as much fun. I want hours on the train. I want the train to stay around. I want people to look for me when they want to ride a train because that's how you ensure that you are a valuable person in the business, or if it's your business, how you continue to add value to other people so that they keep wanting to come back. Like when I cut hair, I do it with, I mean, I'm passionate about it. It's not just something that I'm like, oh, I just want to get this done so I can get the person out of my chair. No, I actually love what I do. And that love shows in my work, it shows in my conversation, it shows in how much I care because I want that person to come back and choose me. And so basically, treat others how you want to be treated. But I agree, you should actually treat them better than you want to be treated. And that's how you encourage people to keep coming back to you. So that's another reason why I like YouTube because I give people the information that I wish I would have been able to find. Kind of like we were talking about earlier, why I like shopping in stores better than I like shopping online is because I get the comparison right then and there. I get to look at it and I get to feel what it's like. When you are buying things online, you don't get that. So now you got to go and do research. And that's what I'm saying. The things that I wish I would have known before I made a purchase. Uh Wait, so do you guys have the volume on the train for the sounds at 100? No. Uh that was what I was saying earlier as well. Sometimes some sounds I have at 100, sometimes some sounds I turn down. The bell, the ding, 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 that thing is annoyingly loud, and you can't use it all through the mall. Somebody asked me that question, why I only use certain sounds down the hallway. One reason why I only use certain sounds down the hallway is because when I first started working for the train, we got an email from I guess mall management or whoever, I don't know. And they were saying that the people who worked in the mall were complaining about how loud the train is all the time. So we got directions on when we can use certain sounds and when we cannot use certain sounds. And so I've been just doing that ever since. And that's why when I get down the hall, I play around, have a little bit of fun, turn on all the sounds, use the air horn. I just try and make it fun for people as much as I can. Certain hallways, certain areas of the mall, you can't do. zigzags and just drive wherever you want to. Like we have to stay out of the food court area. You can't go down the hallway near the restrooms. Those type of things. You at nighttime the library closes down, and that would be perfect space to drive through when they shut down the library, because they take all the books and they push them inside the library area, and that would just be great space to drive through. But I don't. I'm not saying what other people do, but I don't drive through that area either. But I do try to make the most use of the areas where I know I won't be a bother to people. Only time my driving is a bother to people is during this time of year. We get a lot of mall walkers, and the mall walkers, they all like to use that hallway that I like to zigzag down. And when they're walking there, I don't be wanting to zigzag because they be confused, because there's no markings on the floor saying where the train is going to be. I'm glad there's no marking on the floor saying where the train is going to be, because I feel like if I had to follow a path on the floor, the ride would be a lot more boring. Um, it's just our mall is not that big to make it a very, very long ride. And if they told us where to go and how far to turn, it wouldn't be as much fun. Let me see your next comment. Oh, because that woman that was driving the train in one of your videos was playing the sounds like crazy. Yep, you can. Every driver does their own thing. There's not much direction. If you watch my training video, uh, that is as much direction as you get. And then once you get that training, you're free to do it pretty much whatever you want to. Um, if you look at the one that I called the art of conducting, if you look at the one called the art of conducting, um, he drives all over the place. He had all kinds of fun in that video, and none of that stuff is your standard riding. None of it is. So yeah, you can use the sounds. My bad. You can use the sounds however you want to. You can use them loud. It's just not the best thing to do because, like I said, they get crazy. The Some of the store owners, they uh did she understand? Oh, she's been working there longer than me. So I don't tell her anything. She don't tell me anything. There's only two people who have been working there longer than me, and they might have a week or 2 weeks more than me. But I don't tell them anything, and they don't tell me anything. The owners don't live in the area, so that was one reason why I became the trainer, was because the owners could not get down to do the training. So I started doing the training for them at one point in time. I have not done any more since. Um, and that's why I shot video of the training, because I was kind of like, hey, if I'm gonna be doing the training, I would like people to uh, kind of understand what we're gonna be doing before they get there. And it has worked out so well that people understand what they're doing before we get there for training. And they're like, I pretty much know that, I know that, I know that. And it's like, well, okay, well, let's just see if you know how to drive. So that's why I've done the two training videos. I actually did a third training video where I trained 6 people at one time, and some of them were complaining that they didn't want to be in the video, and I was just like, you know what? It was too many people. We actually had to come back and shoot, and do the rest of the training after the mall closed, and I was just tired. And I'm like, you know what? My content got lazier because I'm like, all right, you do it, you do it, you do it. And afterwards, when I heard people saying, I really don't want to be in a video, I'm like, okay, well, let's just scrap the whole video, because I'm not going to go through and edit you out of every clip every single time. And it just made it kind of not fun. So I just was like, you know what? Let's not worry about it. I got enough videos up of training. But every time I do anything with the train, I like to shoot some kind of content. I want to get a 360 camera and start putting it in different areas and let the viewer see from whatever angle they want to see. That's what I would like to do next. But I really don't want to invest the money in a 3D camera right now. Um, I don't even know how that works. Does the young man in the video still work in the train? No. Wait. Uh, the young man that I shot the two young men that I trained. Yeah, yeah, they both do. One of them is the owner's nephew, and the other one is the owner's um nephew's friend. So the owner's nephew was the one in the first video, the one that's doing very, very well. And then the second one, he is good friends with the owner's nephew. That's how he ended up getting the job. So yeah, both of them still work there. Matter of fact, Seth, the one who I did the second video on, he just worked after me maybe last week sometime. It was good seeing him again. I have not seen him. He was very, very, both of them were very cool. I enjoyed working with both of them. They had great personalities. They were very motivated. Uh Seth was very motivated because his friend shot the first video, and after he saw how well it did, he was like, "Hey, I want to do this too. I want to." And so both of them were very, very motivated. Uh both great young men, easy to train. They were focused. I think they're both college students. And they have been, I mean, I don't know because I don't work with them, but we've had other college students. When I first started, it was two that were working there before I got there. And they both had to be let go because they just weren't reliable. Matter of fact, it's been, I think, three or four that have been let go because they show up, they don't stick around, even while they're on the clock. Like one young man got fired because he showed up for work, didn't clock out, and went and hung out at Chick-fil-A for 2 hours. And I mean, basically, you got to think like you're gone for 2 hours. How many rides did you miss during that 2 hour period while you were collecting your money during that 2 hour period? The furthest I go is I go sit in the uh food court area, which is right next to the train. If you look at any of the videos, it's the all the tables right next to the train, because that is the closest area where I can have a surface and sit at, and then have my dog with me as well. Because either that, I have to sit in the train, which sitting in that train for long periods of time, it is hard on your back. Like, ooh. It don't matter where you're sitting. You could be sitting in the cockpit or the whatever you call it, the driver's seat. That is a very straight up and down motion like this. Uh, and then inside of any of the carts, they're very straight up and down. There's not much sitting area on each bench. So uh, I don't know. I try and show that stuff in the videos. I just try and every time I get to the train, I try to look for a new angle to shoot from. And what I would really like to have is plenty of content of the train, to where eventually when I get to the point where I just want to sit around and edit content, I could just sit there and edit different views of the train. Like I enjoy make putting things together and making them look like they're something that they're not. Basically, whenever you see multiple angles of the train, I didn't put up multiple cameras. It's just I did more than one lap, and every lap I changed the angle of the camera, and that's all I do. I don't have 5 cameras attached to the train and driving around the mall at one time. I don't do that. I just put my phone in one place, take my phone and put it in another place for the next ride. For the next ride, put it in another place. And then at the end of the day, I just sit down, or whenever I have time, I just sit down and edit all the clips together. One thing that I've been doing here lately is just putting all the clips in one video and uploading that one video. Um, and anybody who likes long videos of the train, I'm trying to see what people actually like. I read the comments and people tell me, just like I said, I put up a video of every cart, and then I forgot to do the coal car. And one guy's like, my favorite view is the coal car. And I'm like, wow, the one view that I didn't shoot. So I went ahead and shot that today. And I shot two, I shot 3 shots of the coal car. Two were in um, portrait mode, or excuse me, two were in landscape mode and one in portrait mode. And I have not uploaded any of those. I'm looking at the one of the portrait modes right now, or landscape modes right now. And it was 8 minutes and 29 seconds. I have two of those. One a family approached as I was getting ready to pull off, and they said they wanted to ride. So I didn't stop the video. So it's gonna be like a 10-minute video, and you won't see the family. Maybe you see the family walking past the camera to get on the train, but you won't see the family. But maybe in this one you might get to hear like how I negotiate, because like I am very much an advocate to. Now I don't know how the own look. I'm one of them people who I am not one to ask for permission. I am more likely to ask for forgiveness, because what I'm saying is, if you leave me in a situation where I have to make a decision, I'm not going to call you and be like, hey, what's your thoughts on this? No, I'm going to make a decision. And then if you don't like the decision, we just going to have to discuss it. So what happens is, I get a family, let's say a family of 5 who shows up, and I say, hey, it's $6 a person. And they're looking, doing the math like, I don't want to pay $30 for this. Well, hold on. What if I can get you 3, because you got 3 kids. I let one of the kids go for free. And dad, you said you really didn't want to go. So let me get 3 people to go. You can get 4 people to go. And then nobody else is going to ride in the cart with them. As long as they're not taking up a second cart, it's like, well, I got $18 for one cart. I try, like, there's a lot of times where I only get $6 for one cart, and nobody wants to ride in a cart with someone else. So it's like, if I can get $12 in that cart, that's better than just getting 6. So I try to get 12. And if I can get $18 in that cart, that's better than getting 12. So I will tell the dad, like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna make a big deal out of this. You can go ahead and just ride for free. But I'm not saying that like I want everybody to negotiate with me. It's like, if I have a line full of people, I'm not doing that negotiation. Look, I got plenty of people who want to ride. Let me get the people who actually want to pay in, and then I'll get you in. But if it's like there's nobody asking to ride and the family walks up and I'm just sitting there like twiddling my thumbs, it's like, hey, I'll take $12 over 6. I'll take $18 over 24. Well, I don't mean it. I'll take it over it. I'm saying, if I say, hey, it's $24, and they're like, nah, I really don't want to pay that. Be like, well, fine, just walk away then. No, what I'm saying is, I want to make my money for the hour so that they see value in me to come back. So it's like, hey, look, what is it going to take to get y'all to get on this train? Let me just figure that out. You're saying that $24 is too much? Well, how about I let somebody go for free? Or, dad, you saying you don't want to ride? Well, I done already did the negotiation and ain't nobody else here. So, dad, go ahead. You can take a ride with him. Just go ahead and get in. And what I try and encourage him to do is be like, well, look, just get the family photo. Just get the family photo, like everybody in the train all at once. And normally that makes people happy. And then they're appreciative afterwards. And guess what? The next time they come back, they're willing to, you know what? I'll pay. I had a good time the last time. And it's like, well, heck, I won somebody over. It's about getting people in the train to me. And once they get in the train, they'll realize it's more fun than you think it is. And a lot of times, parents are like, I don't really want to ride. And then they get out the train talking about, oh, I really had a great time. And that's what I be going for. So uh, I negotiate a lot. I I feel like I make the company more money through my negotiations, but I guess some people could be like, well, there were 4 people. That should have been $24. And it's like, but if I would have charged them $24, nobody would have rode, and then it would have been negative $18. Like, let's take what we can get, because there's not a whole lot of people beating down the train to ride. I feel like my dog greatly increases my riders, and the fact that I get out there and I take rides when there's nobody wanting to ride, it draws attention to the train. And then I'm saying my content, I'm trying to utilize my content to drive people to the train. Not even during my shifts. As much as I advertise Liberty Center Express on YouTube, people have to know that this train exists at Liberty Center. If I'm not working there anymore, it's still going to be people coming to the train looking for the train. I love this train, and I love how much people seem to enjoy it. So I'm doing everything I can. I don't feel like now, I am starting to get a benefit, but that's what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. When you do things for money, you will struggle. But if you do things out of the kindness of your heart and the passion that you have for things, then money will just come to you. So if your first interest in life is money, you're going to struggle to get it because it will always run from you. But if you have no real interest in the money and you have interest in the passion of doing things or the benefit that you bring to others, people will just give you money. They will just bring it to you. And how I am here to prove that, I loved the train before we even negotiated whether I was going to work there and how much they would pay me. Now they pay decent. They pay very well to drive the train. Then I started shooting content in the train just because I love shooting content. I didn't think that the train would ever be popular. And the train is actually starting to make me a little bit of money like I'm working a part-time job. So I'm going to keep putting out the content because people seem to enjoy it. I just don't want to overwhelm my channel with it, but I don't think there's really such a thing. Hey, I didn't plan on being on here an hour, but I'm gonna be honest. Shaw Speaks is what my name is, and clearly speaking is what I enjoy to do. I also have something else to say. I've been trying to get into not just dog training, but life coaching. And while I was at the train, maybe a month or so back, two young men stopped me and just were asking about the train. And they ended up sitting down and talking for an hour after the mall closed. And I told them to keep in touch with me, and I thought that they did not keep in touch with me. But today, I got a text message from one of them asking if they could come out and help me with some stuff around the barbershop, and if one of their other friends could possibly meet me as well. And so I will be working with them this Sunday, hopefully. And I'm saying, this is what I mean. I'm not in this trying to get anything out of anybody. What I'm saying is, if I could pass on helpful information to people, if I could be a benefit to someone, that is simply what my channel is about. If I could be a benefit to someone, bring joy to your life, bring good information to your life, good content that is, I mean, family friendly. I feel for all ages. I don't care. Uh, that is simply what I'm here for. My goal is to always try and be a good person to other people. And I feel like that will always radiate back to me. So that is simply what my channel is. That is simply the person that I am. I'm not looking for anything from anybody. I don't have a desire to be famous. I don't have a desire, which I'm saying I don't also don't have a desire to be broke all my life either. But what I'm saying is my belief system is, if you do things with the intention on being good to others, if you do it with the intention on being passionate about what you do, just out of the passion of what it is, basically the love for what you do, then the good things will come back to you. And that is simply what I'm trying to say to others. Be good to others, and others will be good to you. We all need each other. That is what makes life. No one should be doing life alone. So that's the person that I am, and that's why I'm here, and that's what Shaw Speaks about. So hey, I thank you, Angel, for so many comments and just being there supporting through this time, because the interaction on the live stream is what helps the live stream kind of go. I know a lot of people don't be here when I be getting on, but hey, I appreciate those who do. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate everybody who be rocking with me. Hey, I'm gonna be getting off of here. I have not done the TikTok live stream because I've been needing to get some sleep. This lack of sleep has been hurting. I thought it was being better for me because I have a hard time going to sleep at night, but I am starting to see a pattern happen in my life that I am not enjoying so much, of sleeping during the middle of the day, taking naps, and sleeping in longer than I feel is necessary. And I know in the summertime, I'm going to want to be outside earlier in the morning, both for my dog training and for my yard work. So I don't want to start a bad habit or something that I know I'm not going to want to keep up when times change. So I have not been on my live stream for TikTok. Uh, it just, I don't see the benefit in it. TikTok feels like something you have to constantly keep feeding every single day, and that's not who I am. I like um long form content, and I like content that can be cataloged and people can find it when they're looking for it. To me, TikTok, that's not it. It's just your content constantly gets covered up, and so it's just not something that I'm interested in. So Hey, I thank everybody who tuned in and once again listen to this. But we're gonna be getting off here because I got some things I'm gonna be doing tomorrow. Hey, much respect, much love. Thank you again for everybody who tuned in. Hey, this your boy, and we out. Hey, now I'm finding out people starting to call me Unc, so I might have to say this your Unc. Hey, but anyway, much respect, much love, and we out.